All right. So in the last class, we started with common gate configuration, common gate amplifier. Okay. In that, we have taken into account the body effect. Okay. Due to this body effect, you have an extra term appearing called GMB. Right. So the reason is the drain current. Okay. When you take into account the body also. Okay. The drain current will have two components. One is due to VGS. Okay, that I will call it as GM into VGS. Okay, which you already know. The second component is called GMB into VBS. VBS here is the body to source voltage. Okay, and GMB is the transconductance due to this VBS. All right. So we have derived three expressions, mainly speaking. Uh, Rn, okay, for the circuit, we have derived Rn, okay, which is given by that expression R naught plus RL divided by 1 plus GMB into R naught, okay. And if in this case, if you make R naught as infinite, right, then in that case, this Rn expression will reduce to 1 by GM plus GMB, okay, which is, telling you that if you go back to the discrete common gate amplifier which we have looked at in the second module, right, there we got the Rn as 1 by Gm, right. So here if you take into account body effect, that Rn will become 1 by Gm plus GMB. So all you have to do is replace Gm with GMB, and you will be considering body effect in your analysis. So now, after that, we are looking at gain, which is RL by Rn. Overall gain, okay, overall gain, GV, which is RL by Rn plus Rs, okay, and finally R out, which is R naught plus Rs into 1 plus Gm plus GMB into R naught. Okay, so this relation between GMB and GM is GMB is chi times GM, where chi is a factor which ranges from 0.1 to 0.2. Okay, so these are the three things which we derived in the last class. Now we'll be moving on with the frequency analysis part. Okay, so the high frequency analysis, wherein we'll be considering the terminal voltage, terminal capacitances. So for example, CGD. Then you'll be considering CGS, and finally something called CL. Okay, so I'll draw the circuit diagram here. Right. High frequency analysis. High frequency analysis of CG amplifier. Okay, so the diagram goes like this. You have a gate which is connected to ground. Then here you have R, Rs. Here you have VGS, V signal, sorry, V signal connected to ground. Between the gate and source you have CGS. So this is CGS, right? And if you go like this towards the drain side, okay, you have CGD, CGD, okay. And then you have R naught between drain and source. Okay, this is R naught, and you have RL, and you have CL, CL, and finally you have V naught. Okay, finally you have V naught. Right. So in the last class we saw the impedance which you see in this direction. Okay, that is 1 by GM plus GMB. Okay, this we have derived in the last class. The impedance seen looking into the source side of the MOSFET. Okay, that is 1 by GM plus GMB. So the voltage seen at this point. Okay, the voltage seen at this point. That I will call it as VI. Okay, that I will call it as VI. Okay, plus minus. Right. So here CL. Okay, here CL has it is load capacitance, you can say, load capacitance, which consists of okay, CDB, okay, drain to body capacitance, and input capacitance of the next stage, next cascaded stage. Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind, and also remember whatever high frequency analysis you are doing, okay, for PG amplifier or for the earlier one, common source amplifier, all those amplifiers are considered to be IC amplifiers, right? Wherein you are going to fabricate this on top of a IC board, on top of an IC, right? They are not discrete circuits, right? The discrete part of the circuits we have seen in the second module, right? Where we did small signal analysis for CG amplifiers, CS amplifiers, and CD amplifiers, right? But here we are dealing with IC amplifiers, not discrete amplifiers. Okay. So in this case, there are a couple of things to observe. Okay. One is, if I ignore R naught, okay. See, R naught is the resistance which is actually connecting your input and output. Alright. So R naught connects the input part of the circuit and the output part of the circuit. If you look here, in the input is given at the source side and the output is taken at the drain side, right? So R naught is the one element which connects the input and the output. So essentially, if I want to do an accurate analysis of this, R naught, what I have to do is, R naught I have to consider Miller's theorem for R naught, right? But what I'll do is, I'll take the easy way out and I will not consider R naught, just for the sake of it. Okay. First case is, I will not consider R naught. Okay. Now without considering R naught, you can clearly see that the input side and the output side are completely isolated. Okay. You don't have anything which connects them, right? So they are completely isolated, which will make my analysis very easy actually. Okay. Finding out FH will be very easy, right? So if I don't consider R naught, okay, what will be my circuit diagram? Okay, I'll draw it. This will become plus minus V signal. I'm not considering R naught in this case, first case. So this will be RS. Then you have this resistance. This resistance here is 1 by GM plus GMB. Okay. Remember, we are at the source side now, right? This is my source. Right? And here I have CGS. Okay, CGS. And if you look at CGS, one side of the gate is anyway grounded, right? So this actually becomes your gate. Right? So now I'll draw the drain side. Now if I draw the drain side, here I will get like this. This will be GM plus GMB into VI. Now what is this current? This current is the one which is flowing here. Okay. Remember the voltage at this point. okay, at this point, that is Vi, right? And the current and the resistance seen at the source side is 1 by Gm plus Gmb, right? So the current flowing that will be I is equal to V by R, right? So here the current will be I is equal to Vi divided by 1 by Gm plus Gmb. Okay, that will be the current. So that is as good as writing Gm plus Gmb into Vi. Okay, so that is the current seen at the drain side. So here I have replaced that current with a dependent source mentioning this, right? Gm plus Gmb into Vi. Now, after this, you have RL, which is connected to ground, and then you have CL. Okay, so I will draw RL here, which is connected to ground, and then I have CL. Okay, now here if you observe CL one end is connected to ground. Similarly, CGD also one end is connected to ground, right? So I can write CL and CGD are parallel together, right? CL and CGD are actually parallel together. So the equivalent capacitance would be the addition of them. So it will be CL plus CGD. Okay, CL plus CGD. All right. Okay, so this will actually form my input side. This will actually form my output side. Okay, and before I forget, this is actually V0. This is actually V0. All right. So I have an RC circuit at my input side, and I have my RC circuit at my output side. So with for these two RC circuits, I can get two resonant frequencies, right? So for the input side, I can write like this. I can take this voltage to be some V, and this to be some R, and this to be CGS. Okay, so here R will be the parallel combination of RS and 1 by Gm plus Gmb. Okay, how do we get this is simple. For this part, you apply Thevenin's theorem. Okay, then V signal will become V signal into RS by 1 by Gm plus Gmb. Okay, you apply Thevenin's here. Okay, then you will see that RS and 1 by Gm plus Gmb. Okay, that will be a parallel combination, right? So here I can write R as, for this circuit, I can write R as RS in parallel with 1 by Gm plus Gmb. How did I get this? Using Thevenin's theorem. Okay, using Thevenin's theorem. Right, I'm not worried about V, what V value is. Okay, this value. I'm not worried about V. Why? Because in my time constant tau for my resonant frequency, tau is equal to RC, right? I'm not going to get voltage there. So doesn't matter what V is, right? So from this, I can write tau as R into CGS. So tau is here RS parallel 1 by Gm plus Gmb into CGS. Okay, so I'll call this first resonant frequency as FP1. Okay, pole 1. This is 1 by 2 pi CGS into RS parallel 1 by Gm plus Gmb. Okay, so I'll call this as my first equation. This is my first equation. Okay, FP1, right? Similarly, if I look at the output side, okay, if I consider the output side, right? Then there I'll get FP2 as 1 by 2 pi. Right, now look, if I look at my output side, I have RL and CL plus CGD there. So my tau will be RL into CL plus CGD. That's all, simple. Don't worry about the current source or the voltage, because I need to find the time constant. For time constant, I just need the resistance and the capacitance value. So it will be 1 by 2 pi into RL into CL plus CGD, right? So here you have FP1 and FP2. Okay, generally speaking, uh, as a note, okay, note, FP, uh, whichever frequency is higher, okay, that the lesser frequency among FP1 and FP2, that will be your dominant pole. Okay, that will be our actual cutoff frequency, right? Remember, the response we get is a low pass filter, right? So lower the frequency, more dominant that frequency is, the more dominant that pole is, right? So generally speaking, what happens is FP2 value is less than FP1, okay, which makes FP2 as the dominant pole, dominant pole, and cutoff frequency depends on FP2, or in fact your cutoff frequency becomes FP2. Okay, right? Till here, is it clear? Right. So if you get a problem in this case, okay, if you get a problem based on this, right, it is always better, you find FP1, then you find FP2, and whichever is lesser, that you consider as your dominant. Okay. So this is the first condition wherein we have not considered R naught. Okay. The next condition, we are going to consider R naught, but there you cannot use you cannot use this method, obviously. Why? Because you have a connection. See, this is the drain part, this is D. Okay, this is the drain part. There is obviously a connection between the input side and the output side. So here, no, in the case where we regard R naught, you can't use this method. So what we do is, there we use the open time circuit constant method, wherein we'll consider one capacitor at a time, okay, and find out two or three time constants. You add all of them up, okay, and that will be your final time constant. From that you get your cutoff frequency. So the second case is considering R naught. Okay, considering R naught. So if I consider R naught, what happens? All right. So here in my circuit diagram, I have two capacitances. Right. One is CGS. The other one is parallel combination of CL and CGD. Okay. So once I'll consider CGS at one time, find out what is time constant with respect to CGS. Next time, I will I will consider the parallel combination of CL and CGD and find out what is the time constant with respect to that. Okay, so I'll add both of them up. Okay, and there you will get the total time constant, from which you will get the 3 dB cutoff frequency. Right. So first I will consider CGS and make source 0. Why I need to make source 0? Because remember, we are finding out RGS. Remember, CGS is already there. We have to find RGS. That is what tau GS is, right? Tau GS is CGS into RGS. CGS you already know. And we have to find what is RGS. That is as good as finding the output impedance, right? When you actually find out the output impedance, you make your sources 0, right? You make your sources 0. That is why here we have to find what is RGS. So how to find that RGS? We'll see. Okay. Now considering CGS and make source is equal to 0. So here V signal is 0 is equal to 0. Here you have RS. Okay. This goes to the MOSFET. Should have done it a little down. Okay. Yeah. This goes to a MOSFET. This, since I'm considering CGS, right, this will be grounded anyway. Now I have to consider R0 here, right? Then I'll consider RL like this. Okay. Now, now what is the impedance seen across the capacitor CGS, right? So that capacitance, which is like this, okay, that capacitance CGS is actually like this. So what I'll do, I will bring that capacitance down like this. Okay, there is this. I'll bring the capacitance down like this, and here I'm going to see what is RGS in this direction. All right. So I'll slightly redraw this diagram. Instead of drawing it like this, I will write RGS like this. Not RGS, RS. Okay. So whatever impedance I see in this direction, that will give me RGS. Okay. And whatever impedance I see in this direction, that will give me RN. Okay. So here RGS, right? Here I get only two impedances I see. One is RS, which is in parallel with RN. Okay, that's it. No, nothing else. Right? RGS is equal to RS parallel RN. Okay. Second case where now I have CGS. CGS is already known. Sorry. So then I get tau GS is equal to CGS into RGS. Therefore, tau GS is equal to CGS into RS parallel RN. RN value we have already derived earlier. Okay. RN we have already derived here, right? So the same RN is, if you come across this in your problems, then the RN can be calculated using this formula. Okay. Right. Tau GS is done. So I'll call this as equation 1. Now consider the parallel combination of parallel combination of CL and CGD, and make source is equal to 0. Alright, we'll see how the diagram works out now. So here you have your gate as usual, which is connected to ground. Source, it is connected to RS, which is connected to ground, because V signal is 0. Right, then here you have R0. Here you have RL. And if remember correctly, here you have CL, right? This is CL. So in this direction, if you look at the impedance seen in this direction, that will give you R, I'll call it GD. Okay, just for simplicity's sake, I'll call it RGD. And in this direction, if you see your impedance, that will actually give you R out. Okay, that will give you R out. This is RL. Okay, that will give you R out. So, and if I obviously from this you can clearly observe that for you to measure RGD, you can see that this impedance resistance RL and this resistance R0 both are in parallel, right? So RGD is, remove this. So RGD is RL in parallel with R0, R out, sorry, R out. Alright. Then in these both equations, where do R0 come into picture? Of course, R0 will come into picture, because if you look at R out and R in values, formulas, you can observe you have R0 there. See? Alright. So you can obviously say then that R out is coming into picture here. We are not simply considering R out and R in, that's all. Okay, we are simply considering R out and R in. R out and R in are made up of R0. Alright, so RGD is RL parallel R0, R out, and tau GD is CGD parallel CL into RGD. Okay, this is what you get. Just a minute. It's correct. And CGD parallel CL is, it is addition only. It is not something else. So it is CGD plus CL. Therefore, tau GD is CGD plus CL into RL parallel R out. Okay, this is equation 2. Okay, so from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, tau here is tau GS plus tau GD. Okay, tau GS plus tau GD, which is where can I write it? Where is it? CGS into Rn, CGS into RS parallel Rn plus CGD plus CL into RL parallel R out. Okay, so therefore FH here is 1 by 1 divided by 2 pi into, okay, CGS into RS parallel Rn plus CGD plus CL into RL parallel R out. This is the entire cutoff equation, cutoff frequency equation. Okay. Right. So this is the actual cutoff frequency for a CG amplifier. Okay. In brackets I will write IC amplifier. Okay. This is the cutoff frequency. Okay. In this, you know where what is R in and R out values. That you can refer this. These are the R in and R out values. right? Is this clear? Okay, so if you consider the both of them, if you consider this FH, which we derived now, and the FP1 and FP2 values which was seen earlier, not considering R0, right? Obviously, if you consider R0, then only you'll get the correct frequency, right? FP1 and FP2 will give you, okay, an approximate value, but it will not be the exact value, right? But here, if you consider R0 for the second case, okay, you will get a close enough accurate value, to actually consider. Okay, so this is FH, cutoff frequency for a CG amplifier, right? We'll look at a small problem now. Okay, any queries still here? Okay, any queries still here? Right. All right. So in the problem, we'll look at derivation of not derivation. We'll find out the gain, Rn, Rout, and FH. Okay, for a given CG amplifier. Right. So the values given are for a common gate amplifier. Find, okay, Rin, Rout, AV, gain, and FH for the following. W by L is 7.2 divided by 0.36. Kn prime is 387 microamps per volt square. Then you have R0, which is 18 kilo ohms. Then ID is 100 microamps. Then GM is 1.25 milliamps per volt. You have chi value, which is 0.2. Then RS, which is 10 kilo ohms. RL, which is 100 kilo ohms. Then CGS, which is 20 femtofarads. CGD, which is 5 femtofarads. And CL, okay, it is 0. CL is 0. Right. So for this, okay, see, if given such a problem, generally the circuit diagram is not given for you. Okay, but it is a good practice. You draw the circuit diagram for a given question, even if it is not given. Even if it is given, also you draw. Okay, even if it is not given, it's a good practice. You draw the circuit diagram so that it will be clear for you. Okay, so solution. Okay, so the circuit diagram is this. This is ground. Here you have CGD. This is CGS. RS. V signal. Then here you have R0. This is R0. Here you have RL. Here you have CL. This is V0 and this is CL. Okay. So for this, find out AV, RN, Rout and FH. So first, obviously here CL is 0. So that is what is given. So so here GMB value I'll find out because I need it, right? So GMB is chi into GM. This is 0.2 into 1.25 milli, which is 1.5. 1.5, sorry. What is this? 1.25 milli into 0.2. We calculate 1.25 into 0.2, 0.25. So this is 0.25 milli amps per volt, right? Then GM plus GMB. Okay, so this is 1.25 plus 0.25, that is 1.5 milliamps per volts, right? Next I have AV, voltage gain, which is RL by RN. Okay, RN value, is it given? No, it is not given. Obviously, we have to find what it is. So Rn here is R0 plus RL divided by 1 plus GM plus GMB into R0. So all the other values you already know. R0 is 18 kilo plus RL is 100 kilo divided by 1 plus GMB is 1.5 milli into R0, which is 18 kilo. Okay, so from this you will get Rn value. Okay, put this here. Better. So Rn value here is 4.214 kilo. Okay, 4.21 kilo. So AV is RL. RL is how much? 100 kilo divided by 4.214 kilo. Okay, so that should give me 23.72 volts per volts. Remember here this amplifier, it is a non-inverting amplifier. Okay, so obviously we will not have any negative sign associated with AV. Correct. So this is AV. Now we know that AV is AV naught into RL by RL plus R naught. Okay. So from this AV naught is AV, which is 23.72 into RL plus R naught, which is 100K plus 18K divided by RL, which is 100K. Okay, so AV naught here is almost close to 28 volts per volts. So AV naught is 28 volts per volts. Right. Next, AV I have found out. Next I have to find Rn I have found out. Next I have to find what? R out. R out and FH. Okay. R out, there is a straightforward formula. R out is R naught into R naught plus 1 plus GM plus GMB into R naught into RS. So substitute all the values. This R naught is 18K plus 1 plus 1.5 milli into 18K into RS. RS is how much? RS is 10 kilo ohms. 10 kilo ohms. So here R out value is 298 kilo ohms. Okay, 298 kilo ohms. Now R out you have finally found out. Now you have to find FH. Okay, and remember the formula for FH is 1 by 2 pi into CGS RGS plus CL plus CGD into RGD. Okay, this is 1. where RGS is RS parallel Rn. Okay, so this is RS is much 10 kilo parallel Rn. Rn is 4.214 kilo. 4.214 kilo. And RGD is R out parallel RL. R out is 298 kilo ohms parallel RL, which is 100 kilo ohms. Okay, so substitute all the values, you will get FH as 1 by 2 pi into CGS. CGS is 20 femto into 10k parallel 4.214 kilo. Okay, plus CL is 0, CGD is 5 femto. So 5 femto into 298 kilo parallel 100k. Right. So if you solve this, you will get 366 megahertz. Okay, 366 megahertz. Okay, this is your final answer. Okay, you can solve this on your own. This anyway I'm going to share with you. Right, you can sit and practice this. Right, and you can repeat this problem. Okay, repeat for CL is equal to say 5 femtofarads. Okay, so just for another exercise. Okay, so here you will get CL plus CGD. So instead of having 5 femtofarads here, you will get 10 femtofarads. Right, that's it. Nothing else from this. Okay. Any other queries in today's class? Right. Okay. Then in that case, I will stop now. On the next class onwards, we'll start looking into high frequency analysis of a source follower. Source follower means common drain amplifier. Right. Any doubts in this in today's class? All right. Then you can leave the chat. You can attend your next class. No need to write your name and USA number. I've already recorded your attendance.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.